Hello. I thought I would do a video on, let's get my hand out of the way, on my seat post removal jig. It's called Last Resort. This is probably backwards because of the camera, but yeah, I'll call it Last Resort for a pretty good reason. Here is a prime example of what happens when a seat post won't come out. My seat post puller actually pulled the frame apart. You can see there in the middle of the seat tube, that's cracked. It is wafer thin. These frames are very lightweight. They're very strong, really good frames. I mean, it looks lovely, doesn't it? But yeah, they're not strong when you're trying to give it that force, trying to pull that post out. But you can see the seat post on this, unfortunately, someone had a previous go at it before I stuck the jig on it. They'd stuck it in a vise and tried to kind of wrestle it out, drilled a hole through it, put a bar through, so they've weakened it anyway. So here we have the jig itself. Is it recording? I'm joking, I'm on my own. Here it is. I had this design in my head for 20 years. Only 4 years ago I actually could be bothered to put any effort into making it because I wasn't confident whether it would work or not. Anyway, bought a load of mild steel and yeah, just went for it. So I'll run through kind of how it works real quick. So if you had a frame or a bike with the seat post was stuck in that wasn't coming out, I would strip the bottom bracket out, cranks, everything off, front derailleur if it was in the way, seat off as well. This threaded bar, which was the toughest bar I could find, I can't remember what grade it is, but that's the toughest one I could find. That goes through your bottom bracket. I've got loads of lovely adapters that I made and various things so it doesn't damage the bottom bracket. Seat post goes through here. Some shaft clamps, again, I usually put 2 or 3 on, kind of clamped up around there, done up FT around there. As the jack goes up, it pulls this up. If you can see this in the shot, pulls this up, the whole thing goes up, and as you can see, it pulls the seat post out of the frame. Now, it's got a 10-ton bottle jack, SGS one. Has had a hard life. This has had a lot of pressure put through it. Probably the equivalent like jacking a tank up or something. It's starting to leak a bit, so I think I'm going to have to replace it. But they are cheap. They're not mega expensive. That is bolted in at the bottom here as well to stop it flying out. So, normal shaft or ram. Adjustable head on it. Again, this has got quite a bit of range. We've got some alloy spacers that I made up. These are threaded together to stop them flying out under pressure. We've got a big bolt which goes through. This goes through to about 2/3 because again, I didn't want this flying out. The slider kind of head arrangement here is well and truly overbuilt. So even got some flat bar on the bottom there. When I first made this and I made the frame, or before I made the frame, the head started to bow over and it was pretty obvious then that it was going to fail. So I redesigned it and added on this kind of head, hence why it's kind of stepped around here, but it's all worked out all right. It's kind of works on this kind of slider. Don't know if I've got the strength with one hand. Yeah, so that slides up and down, stops it flying over. And then we've got these 2 bars. Again, it's all bolted through here with real heavy duty stuff. I think these were, I think they're M12 by looking at them. Again, I threaded the rod, heavy or high tensile rod. Goes all the way through some brass bushes that I made on the lathe. Again, I lube all this up, lube the sliders here, lube there. Again, I lube here as well. Through to the big slab of alloy with the cutout. Again, it's all bolted through. The faceplate here comes off. Again, this is to keep it all guided while it's moving. I lube all this up. I'm not sure this really needs lubricating, but I lube it anyway. Couple of shaft clamps there. Sometimes they slip, sometimes they don't. Most of the time now I put 2 or 3 and they don't. And then adjustable feet down the bottom here. Hopefully this will focus properly. Yeah, adjustable feet just to get the kind of angles nice when I'm setting it up. I did weld in some gussets after I used it a couple of times because I was worried that these pegs were going to kind of come off. Yeah, nice threaded bar in there. So that's the operation of it. if I push this up, this is so heavy, this thing. I'm 6'1" and my head comes to about here. So it's near enough 7 foot and it's so heavy. If you push here upwards, you get, I'll try and get it in the shot. Obviously the jack would be going up and doing this. The whole thing goes up and down. So the idea, clamped in the bottom bracket, clamped in the seat post, it goes up. To use this, I need 10 mil of seat post, ideally, to get the clamps on properly. 10 centimetres. 10 centimetres of seat post showing, and it has to be round as well with this. I haven't got any clamps to work with oval or D-shaped posts yet. I'm not sure if you can get them. If you do, let me know, or if you can, let me know. So I clamped them on anyway. It's been pretty successful so far. I reckon I've got about 90% success rate. Some I just have to give up on, and other ones the frame fails. So it's as it says there, last resort. I'll make customers pretty aware of that before I start having a go at their frame. If I was making this again, what would I change? I would almost definitely, I think, pay a proper welder to weld it together. These welds are typical of someone who's been out and bought a welder and thinks they can weld. Yeah, there we go. They can't be that bad though, because it's it's not cracked and blown apart or killed anyone. It's killed plenty of frames, but that's another story. So yeah, they're not the prettiest welds, but they've done the job. My welder was playing up. It slowly got better towards the end. I think I don't know, so many welds could probably tell me, but it was stuttering really badly. I think the cable was restricted in some way or too much friction. But anyway, is what it is. So there's a few of these now dotted around, which I've seen which people have. I know Ross at Frothy Bikes had one way before me that he designed. His isn't hydraulic. His has a winder. Which is kind of another design. I didn't think winding would work too well. I didn't think I'd have the strength to be able to turn it and add that amount of force, but you obviously can, because people have done them and they seem to work very nicely. So that's Ross at Frothy Bikes in Scotland. And then there's also, I can't remember, there's another shop in Scotland. They seem to do things properly up there. They've got a very similar design to mine, but with a winder rather than hydraulic. Their kind of arrangement here around where the bottom bracket is mounted, they had like an alloy billet kind of system which bolts on and they can change it, and it all looks lovely. I think I would definitely get rid of the threaded bar and just have probably like a 24 mil bar with some threading to bolt in place rather than this going through. So there's definitely room for improvement. So there we go. That's it. Tell us what you think. Tell us your thoughts. If you got any ideas of how it could be better, things I could change, I've obviously listed a few there. Do you like my hoodie as well? Some of the RSPB. I got it for my birthday. If you're going to give your money to someone, you might as well give it to someone who deserves it, right? Does some good with it. Yeah, share your thoughts. There's always room for improvement. That isn't perfect by any means. I know it's pretty crude if you look closely. Well, it's pretty crude anyway, but it does the job. If you've got any ideas or if you want to make your own one, let me know. I'm sure we can work together, share some wisdom. But as I say, there's a few shops. I know there's definitely a couple in Scotland. There's the one I can't remember, and then there's Frothy Bikes. Yes, there's a few knocking around. I think there's a Spanish shop as well that have got a similar thing, but all the ones I've seen have all got a winder, which surprises me that you can turn it. I'm surprised you can apply enough force, but hydraulic was my thinking. I should really do some outtake clips. They'd be pretty funny as me getting really angry with my phone and want to throw against the wall. Anyway. And try to not fumble my words. It's bad enough with my Norfolk mumbling anyway. But if you want to see this in action, I can't remember if they were shorts or whether they were videos, but I've definitely uploaded a few short videos of this working. I should imagine it's quite interesting because they go off with a hell of a bang sometimes. The videos obviously don't do them justice. But usually I put like a little marker around the seat post, and then when it shifts, you can kind of see it releasing. Then, as I say, it goes off with a hell of a bang. I've usually got kind of eye protection on, gloves, and kind of wincing away from it. But yeah, it goes off with a bit of a pop. But yeah, check those videos out. I'm sure you'll find them interesting.